11, CDC Royal Decree. Who would like to speak to that, please? All right, looks like the entire panel would like to speak to that. So, Your Excellency, Darlene.
We're going to start with His Excellency Michael Hawkins, then we'll have Her Excellency Julia Hickson, His Excellency Herbert Cerami, Her Excellency Sally Arnold, Sally Wong, pardon me, and Her Excellency Maria Magdalena.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much, and Grand Rising, Your Majesty, and Grand Rising to our panelists today, and welcome to We the People. This Royal Decree number 11, CDC Canada is prohibited from issuing public health guidelines recommendations nationwide. This order is retroactive May 28, 2021. Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didulo I issued this royal decree to end once and for all the attack on the Homo sapiens species. The fraudulent and criminal practices of creating viruses under corporation patents are over. No entity can patent what naturally occurs, and is why we have been under substantial attack in the Kingdom of Canada and around the world since Her Royal Majesty and before Her Royal Majesty issued cease and desist orders May 28, 2021. Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didulo I was the only world leader to not promote a bioweapons injection and programs, and has ended their control. It is up to we the people to deliver cease and desist orders and stand in your authority with your royal decrees under natural law. And it is our duty to protect the safety, security, and sovereignty of the Kingdom of Canada and around the world. Thank you, Your Royal Majesty.
You're welcome. Next.
Greetings to Your Royal Majesty and all members and the team. I think in addition to what His Excellency Michael just said, which was an excellent summary of the meaning and the intention of the royal decree and the timing of the royal decree, which was May 2021, that was in the early stages of the COVID pandemic. And I think the key thing here is the impact on humanity is, yes, physical. It's also spiritual and emotional. It divided families and communities as people were coerced by these advisories, by this false information. They were manipulated, coerced, and having various liberties taken from them, such as the ability to travel, the ability to work, the ability to visit loved ones in hospitals and homes. This is more than just a medical crime. This is a crime against humanity that has ripped families apart and kept the truth away from the people. So it's wonderful to see now that the truth is coming out, but Her Royal Majesty was the first and only world leader to ban these injections and to call them for what they were, crime against humanity. Thank you, Royal Majesty.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
His Excellency Herbert Cerami.
Okay, His Excellency Herbert Cerami. Looks like you'll have to unmute yourself there.
The Center of Disease Control, CDC, should be eliminated because of these diseases. When they formed them in the underground labs, it was for them to depopulate the people. Chemically, food, chemically, water. Now, as we have to clean the water, clean the air, that means Center of Disease Control under deep state. It won't exist anymore. Royal a royal degree of Queen Romana. With this royal degree, it gives us a freedom of defeating the whole process of underground tunnels. I thank you.
You're welcome. And before we go to the next speaker, I would like to add to that the not only was the injections, not only did it cost physically and emotionally as well as socially, but it cost the people financial as well, because many have lost their jobs because they were prevented from working unless they kowtowed to the thuggery, to the criminality that was really done to the entire human race. And even the most educated individuals holding multiple royal decrees, even the highest military personnel, generals, 5 stars, 4-star generals, fell for that manipulation and that psychological operation. Next.
Her Excellency Sally Wong.
Grand Rising, Your Royal Majesty, Queen Romana Didulo I, and everybody. The number 11 Royal Decree is revoking all the licenses and its subsidiaries of the Center for Disease Control. And as mentioned already, it's prohibiting it from issuing public guidelines. And those guidelines are exactly what the Queen said, Your Royal Majesty, at the beginning, that it was, as already mentioned, about depopulation. It was murder and genocide. And as Your Royal Majesty just said, it did create financial problems for a lot of people. And just a few points. Today we're going to be talking about Your Royal Majesty's decrees that you wrote a few months, maybe 4 or 5 months before you went to Ottawa, February 3rd, 2022. So these things already you had decided before you dropped all the mandates when you were there in Ottawa on that historic day. And the other point that I want to make is this is just a refresher about 2 or 3 things. It goes back to your previous video in 2021, probably the first video that you made in public about the COVID injection vaccines. And in that video, February 2021, that was released online, you said that it was a crimes against humanity and it will not go unpunished. And we've spoken about this before a few weeks ago when we discussed Royal Decree 44. That's the death penalty, cease and desist for those involved with crimes against humanity, specifically the COVID injection. You said back February 2021 that the vaccines destroy our health, and you were very specific in that Royal Decree 44 about that. And you also said when the time comes to sign the execution papers, you will. It's under due process. They're innocent until proven guilty. You said about this specific crime against humanity, the COVID-19 injection, that those people who are found guilty will be tried under the Nuremberg Code, and they will have no defense because everything that's backing them now will be gone. The corporation government, the banking system, and the maritime courts will no longer be here to defend them. And the reason why the vaccines are so dangerous is because they did not pass for approval. They were still in the trial phase. And Your Royal Majesty, to quote you, you called it a poisonous drug cocktail in that video of February 2021. And you said that we the people were the lab rats. So this is definitely why you have made this Royal Decree 11 prohibiting the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, you're prohibiting them from issuing public guidelines, because their guidelines are promoting people to get the shot that's going to do harm to their bodies. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who's next, Your Excellency?
Her Excellency Maria Magdalena.
Okay.
Greetings, Your Majesty and the whole team. In Europe, the RKI, the Robert Koch Institute, was the authoritative body in corona policy as far as the measures were concerned. As it turned out years later, the RKI had to follow the instructions of the politicians, even if they considered the politicians' assessment to be completely wrong. So the RKI is not an independent institute on a scientific basis, but merely a tool of politics. In the 3D world, when subsidies are paid by the state, it always means that the state has a certain interest and the subsidy received must obey, otherwise the funds will be cut off. These institutions have frightened, betrayed, harmed, and tortured the people, especially the children and our ancestors. And the same happened everywhere in the world. Thank you for freeing us from these harmful institutions, Your Majesty.
You're welcome. There is a saying that regardless of whom is doing the research, the outcome usually, if not 100%, is geared towards the conditions set up by the funder. Translation, you can buy experts, the so-called white papers. And that is why also they have paid experts to discredit Queen Romana around the world. And now we the people are the ones discrediting those paid for, bought, and sold experts who have been slandering Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didulo online. Who's next, Your Excellency?
Her Excellency Gina Lee, and then we'll be hearing from His Excellency Thomas Emmanuel.
Okay.
Greetings, Your Royal Majesty. Thank you. Royal Decree number 11 made me think of the pharmaceutical companies and the lobbying that goes on with Congress and the politicians, who are then guided to create these policies and emergencies and just promote it overall in general. Then you have the pharmaceutical funding for the CDC. So the CDC itself is biased towards whatever the pharmaceutical company wants to push, because it's ready to make money off of the vaccines they've prepared without proper guidance or proper trial. And furthermore, as my colleagues have already discussed, the world countries had signed on agreements to reduce the world's population. So this is elites' propaganda and push to reducing the world's population using the systems in place and to action against we the people with this mass murder, as Her Royal Majesty had said from the beginning. Royal Decree number 11 acts as a safeguard against the risks that a financially compromised and potentially influenced CDC, which could declare health emergencies primarily for the benefit of pharmaceutical companies and for the elite's desire to reduce the world's population. I thank you, Your Royal Majesty, for the protection.
You're welcome. So the CDC was nothing more than a paid-for rubber stamper, paid for, bought and sold. Because if you ask, did they actually do any testing? There's no testing done by the CDC, or there was none. So they were merely used to rubber stamp and give weight to the already propaganda to try to convince as many people as possible. I mean, if there was efficacy in the injection, why did they have to bribe with the people? Especially many students were bribed to have a paid vacation somewhere during, and to have paid tuition fees. Some were bribed, the public. Some of them were bribed by ice cream at some fast food restaurants. I mean, seriously. If the injection was working, there was no need. But again, we know this was all propaganda, and this was a carefully and intricately designed depopulation agenda. Next, His Excellency Thomas Emmanuel. Go ahead, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Your Royal Majesty, Queen Romana. First, greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
CDC, I will add to what you have been saying. CDC is the marketing arm of the Big Pharma. And there are whistleblowers working inside the CDC. So whistleblowers can disappear also easily as they come. And there is this threat of jail time if they come out, if they give information, because what is being done is not what is being published. It's the opposite. They cannot come out because of jail time, both by the government. Concealing critical information about vaccine connection to autism, or even. This is what he types. This is from the senior scientist, William W. Thompson. He's a PhD scholar. He says, I have waited long time to tell my story, and I want to tell it truthfully. I was involved in deceiving millions of taxpayers regarding the potential negative side effects of vaccines. We lied about scientific findings. The CDC can no longer be trusted to do vaccine safety work. Can't be trusted to be transparent. CDC can't be trusted to police itself. So thank you, Your Royal Majesty, Queen Romana I, for revoking their licenses. Even from the 1960s, they have been lying to the public. So prohibited. So it's good that we have, we have prohibited them from issuing health guidelines because it was completely wrong information doctors have been giving to the patients. So thank you, Royal Majesty, Queen Romana.
You're welcome.
Yes, we have saved the Kingdom of Canada, the safety, security, and sovereignty from these foreign interferences and all. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And who and where was CDC founded? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, quickly research where CDC was founded. Where is it? What country did it come from? Okay, so we have Her Excellency Deep Cummings, Her Excellency Sally Wong, and then Her Excellency Violi. Okay.
Go ahead, Your Excellency Sally.
Well, it either came from the United States or Germany because it's a 3-letter agency and it started right after World War II. And I don't want to change the subject. You want to know which country, Your Royal Majesty, that it came from? So that's my guess, one of those two. But I just wanted to quickly say, I checked the CDC website and it was dated March 2025. And it has the same tune to it. They're not saying anything different than the beginning. The number one guideline they make is to take the COVID-19 vaccine to prevent, But right underneath it says, even though you take the vaccine, you may still get the virus. So yeah, they're guilty. It's right there on the website. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Her Excellency Deep Coming Soul, and then Her Excellency Violi.
So I would say United States. I also want to add that we the people learn and educate yourselves of what there's everything you need to be able to heal yourself. There's the option of hydrochloroquine. I made my own yesterday. So there's very effective things you can do yourself to heal yourself instead of relying on these entities that are not really there, as we have discussed, for your well-being. There's also ivermectin, and what is actually best for us is the horse paste. They say it's for horses, but it's kind of sad that they would create. You see, horses are very sensitive, so they cannot fool around with putting stuff in there that would be harmful to them, or it would not work. So it's actually just as the best option for us as well, because they do that for the horses. We can benefit from it. So there's so many options. We be always ready to learn, so you can be dependent and not independent from relying on advices that will be given to you, whether it be from the CDC or from Food and Drug and Administration and those different entities. Much can be done on your own, because everything you need has been provided within nature to be healthy and whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Next, we have Her Excellency.
Thank you, Your Royal Majesty.
Yeah, it's
My mind was going back to the time when we were experiencing the COVID-19 propaganda pandemic. And I find it very ironic that an agency called CDC, which stands for Center for Disease Control, was used to market or to sell to the people the idea that the injection was good for them, when in fact it will either kill them instantly or over a few years, or it will generate all kinds of diseases in their bodies. So this is one of the biggest trickeries that the nefarious entity we call the cabal has concocted or thought about in order to trick the people into getting something that they thought was good for them, when in fact it was seriously going to injure them or even kill them. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, everyone, we've covered that. Next, we're going to